Have you ever been walking in the woods, no moon, pitch black, can't see, running into trees, tripping over rocks, or you have a flashlight on you, guiding your way, staying in light, going down the narrow path, not running into obstacles? Walking in the light, that's what we're talking about. That's what we should be doing as Christians. But what is the light? Is it some ray of sunshine that God shines down on each one of us? Is it some feeling that we feel inside, makes us all gooey? Let's look at 1 John 1:5. 1 John 1:5. This then is the message which we have heard of him, and declare unto you that God is light, in him is no darkness at all. John 8:12. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Isaiah 2:5. O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord. Just 3 verses that says God is light. God is light. There are many more. We can look at most of verses that have God in them. They're an attribute of God. But the Bible is given to us so we can study it, so we can see if God is true. So let's see who walked in God's light. Is it worth it? We can look at Job. Job 1:13 through 19. Job walked in the light. There was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking in their eldest brother's house, and there came a messenger unto Job and said, The oxen were plowing, and the donkeys feeding beside them. Verse 16, while he was yet speaking, there came another and said, The fire of God from heaven. Verse 15, and the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away, and they have slain the servants on the edge with the edge of the sword, and I am only escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came another and said, The fire of God is fallen from heaven, hath burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them. I am the only one to tell thee. And while he was still speaking, there came out another and said, The Chaldeans made out 3 bands, fell upon the camels, carried them away, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while he was still speaking, there came also another and said, Thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking in their eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they were dead, and I only escaped to tell thee. All this happened really quickly. We might have all gone through troubles, gone through hardships, but all this happened faster than I could read it. One after the other after the other. They all came at once. What did Job do? What did Job do as his animals died? They weren't just his pets. They were his income, his food, his pets. They were his kids, his family. What did Job do? Look at verse 20. Job arose, rent his mantle, shaved his head, fell down upon the ground, and worshipped God, and said, Naked have I come out of my mother's womb, naked shall I return. The Lord give, and the Lord taketh away. Blessed is the name of the Lord. Job did not sin nor charge God foolishly. Job was following God. When things got tough, Job did not say, God, he's messing up my life. It's his fault. I'm going to go do something else. No, he followed God. He stayed in God's light. What about Daniel? We all know the story. Daniel in the lion's den. The king put out a decree. You cannot worship God. Worship me instead, on pains of death. Would we still gather here worshiping together, or would we hide, not wanting to die? Daniel opened up his door. He worshiped God. He did not hide and cower in fear. No, he worshiped God. And when he was found out, they threw him in the lion's den. God rewarded him for his worship. God rewarded him for his faith. He saved Daniel. We can also look at one of the greatest examples of walking in light, Paul. Paul went through so much. Just 4 short examples. He was beaten, Acts 16:22, stoned, Acts 14:19, whipped, 2 Corinthians 11:24. He was in prison, 2 Timothy 2:9. There are more. I could go on. But Paul stayed strong through all of this. These people followed God. They stayed in his light. They did not sin. What about those who didn't? We can look at two examples, Ananias and Sapphira, Acts 5, 1 through 11. Ananias and Sapphira wanted to be known for their greatness. Their pride and greed got the better of them. They sold a piece of land and said, "We give all of this to you guys. It's all the money that we made. Look at how great we are." When in reality, they kept back part of it. And God struck them dead because they lied. What about, that was just two people. What about the whole world at one point? Genesis 6, 11 through 13. Genesis 6, 11 through 13. The earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth. Behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh hath corrupted its way upon the earth. And God said to Noah, "The end of all flesh is come before me. The earth is filled with violence throughout it. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth." The earth was so bad, everybody in it, except for 8 people, were not walking in God's light. They were not following God. They weren't listening to him. So God destroyed it. He saved 8 people, but he destroyed everybody else. Now, these are just 2 examples, but why? Why should we care? God's not going to strike us down now. He's not going to flood the world, but he did command it. And if he commanded it, then he must have a purpose. And if we follow God, then we get to go to heaven, right? That's the whole point of one of the whole points of why we follow God. The other is he created us. We should follow our creator. He's a good being. But we can get to heaven if we follow God. If we're not following God, if we're not walking in the light, then we're in sin. We're not going to get to go to heaven. Walk in the light as he is in the light. We'll have fellowship one with another.